When you hear the name Cristiano Ronaldo, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? For some, it's the image of him leaping into the air, seemingly defying gravity and hammering home a header. For others, it's that trademark celebration, the spin and jump followed by the thunderous shoo, echoing across a stadium filled with roaring fans. And for millions of people all around the world, Ronaldo is more than just a footballer. He's a symbol of relentless determination, a man who rose from humble beginnings to conquer the sport at a level almost no one has ever touched. But here's the thing. While most people know him as a global superstar, very few actually know the fascinating stories, struggles, and surprising facts that shaped his incredible journey. In this countdown, we're going to dive into the top 10 facts about Cristiano Ronaldo that will not only impress you, but also make you see him in a completely new light. Let's get started. Figure 10. Ronaldo was named after an American president. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, in Funchal, Madeira, a small island far from the glitz and glamour of world football. His parents came from a modest background. His father, José Diniz Aveiro, worked as a gardener and part-time kitman for a local football club, and his mother, Maria Dolores, was a cook and cleaner. Money was tight, life was tough, but little did anyone know that this child would grow into one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet. But here's a fact most fans find surprising. Cristiano Ronaldo was named after none other than Ronald Reagan, the 40th President of the United States. Why? Because Ronaldo's father was a huge fan of Reagan, not just as a politician, but as a Hollywood actor before he became president. For a working-class man in Portugal, Reagan symbolized charisma, success, and a kind of larger-than-life presence. And when his youngest son was born, José decided to pass a little bit of that magic on by giving him the middle name Ronaldo. Think about that for a second. A boy from Madeira, named after an American president, would grow up to become a figure who transcended borders and politics, adored by fans across continents. In a way, the name was prophetic. Just as Ronald Reagan went from small-time actor to leader of the free world, Cristiano Ronaldo would go from a skinny kid on a remote island to the undisputed king of world football. Growing up, though, his name didn't protect him from hardship. The Aveiro family lived in a small tin-roofed home where Cristiano shared a room with his siblings. They often had to scrape by with little money, and his mother later admitted she considered aborting him because she feared they couldn't afford another child. But fate had other plans. Ronaldo survived, grew stronger, and carried that unique name like a badge of destiny. What makes this fact even more compelling is how Ronaldo himself embodies some of the very qualities Reagan was known for: confidence, charisma, and an almost obsessive willpower. Just as Reagan was called the great communicator, Ronaldo has become the great performer, dazzling audiences not with speeches but with goals, records, and trophies. So the next time someone asks you about Cristiano Ronaldo's name, you can tell them, yes, the world's greatest footballer was named after an American president. And maybe, just maybe, that name gave him the psychological push to believe he was destined for greatness all along. 9. He almost didn't become a footballer. When we watch Ronaldo now, the blistering pace, the perfectly sculpted physique, the endless highlight reels, it's easy to think he was always destined for football stardom. But the truth is far more dramatic. In fact, at one point, Ronaldo's career was nearly derailed before it even began. As a young boy in Madeira, Ronaldo showed an extraordinary passion for football. He would spend hours kicking a ball around the streets, often skipping homework or even meals just to play. His talent was obvious to everyone who saw him. By the age of 12, his parents made a bold decision. They sent him to Lisbon to join Sporting CP's academy, a move that would separate him from his family and force him to grow up quickly. Imagine being just a kid, moving hundreds of miles away from home, living in dorms, and suddenly being in one of the most competitive environments in European football. But here's the twist. When Ronaldo was just 15, He was diagnosed with a racing heart condition called tachycardia. This was some minor injury or temporary setback. It was a life-threatening issue that could have forced him to retire before he even had a chance to start. Doctors told his family that if untreated, it could put him in serious danger whenever he ran or exerted himself. For a young boy whose entire life revolved around football, this was devastating news. Most kids would have given up, accepted that fate had dealt them a cruel hand. But not Cristiano Ronaldo. He underwent a delicate laser surgery, a risky procedure at the time, which corrected the irregular heartbeat. And within just a few days, he was back on the training ground, hungrier than ever. That determination, that refusal to let anything stop him, became a hallmark of his career. This fact reveals something powerful about Ronaldo's personality. It wasn't just talent that brought him to the top. Plenty of kids had talent. What set him apart was his resilience. From a young age, he learned that obstacles were not the end. They were challenges to overcome. His health scare could have ended his story before it began, but instead, it became fuel for his drive to succeed. Think about how different the football world would look if Ronaldo had never returned to the pitch. No Champions League nights where he single-handedly destroyed defenses. No record-breaking goal tallies. No Ballon d'Ors. No rivalry with Lionel Messi that defined an entire era of football. We might never have seen that thunderous header against Manchester United for Real Madrid, or that unforgettable bicycle kick against Juventus that left even opposing fans applauding. American fans might compare it to Michael Jordan being cut from his high school team, a moment of rejection that became a turning point. For Ronaldo, it was facing a health condition that threatened everything he loved. And just like Jordan, he responded with ferocity. Every sprint, every training session, every goal became proof that nothing, not even his own body, could stop him from achieving greatness. This story also explains Ronaldo's legendary obsession with fitness. He trains harder than almost anyone else, often staying after team practices to work on his body, his stamina, his technique. It's not just vanity or showmanship. Deep down, he knows how fragile his dream once was. The gym, the diet, the relentless work, they're his insurance policy against ever being powerless again. So when you see Ronaldo celebrating after scoring his 800th career goal, remember, it almost didn't happen. Behind the glamour, the millions, and the fame is a man who stared down a medical condition that could have ended his career at 15 and came back stronger. That's not just a fact, that's a miracle of willpower. 8. The first ever Manchester United number 7. After David Beckham. When Cristiano Ronaldo arrived at Manchester United in 2003, he was just an 18-year-old kid from Portugal. At that point, he was talented but still raw, flashy but unproven, and definitely not the global superstar we know today. Yet, what happened next would set the tone for the rest of his career, and it all revolved around a jersey number. Manchester United's number 7 shirt wasn't just any number, it was iconic. Legends like George Best, Brian Robson, Eric Cantona, and most recently David Beckham had all worn it. Each one of them had left behind a legacy of flair, leadership, and brilliance. Wearing the number 7 at Old Trafford was like being handed the keys to a kingdom, but also the weight of impossible expectations. Originally, when Ronaldo signed, he asked for the number 28, the same number he wore at Sporting Lisbon. That was his comfort zone, his safe place. But Sir Alex Ferguson, the legendary Manchester United manager, had other ideas. He saw something in this skinny teenager, something that screamed potential greatness. Ferguson told Ronaldo, "No, you're not getting 28. You're going to wear number 7. Imagine being 18, barely able to speak English, and suddenly carrying the same number once worn by David Beckham, the face of English football, and Eric Cantona, the man who defined swagger at United. For most young players, that kind of pressure would crush them. But for Ronaldo, it lit a fire. He took it as a challenge, an opportunity not just to play for Manchester United, but to etch his name alongside the legends who had come before him. At first, fans were divided. They saw this kid doing stepovers and flashy tricks but not always making the right decisions. Some critics dismissed him as style over substance. But Ferguson kept faith, nurturing him, pushing him, and demanding he grow up quickly. Slowly but surely, Ronaldo transformed. His dribbling became sharper, his decision-making smarter, and his body stronger. He evolved from a showboating winger into a ruthless forward. The moment he truly justified the number 7 came in the 2007-2008 season. Ronaldo exploded, scoring 42 goals in all competitions, leading United to both the Premier League title and the Champions League trophy. That season, he wasn't just good, he was unstoppable. Free kicks, headers, long-range screamers, he did it all. And when he lifted the Ballon d'Or in 2008, there was no longer any doubt. The kid who inherited Beckham's assist number had surpassed even the wildest expectations. In American sports terms, it was like being drafted into the NBA and immediately being handed Michael Jordan's number 23. Most players would shrink under that spotlight, but Ronaldo thrived in it. Instead of breaking under pressure, he used it to transform himself into the global icon we see today. That shirt wasn't just fabric with a number, it was a legacy, and Ronaldo made sure his chapter was one of the greatest in Manchester United's storied history. Even years later, when people talk about United's number 7, Ronaldo's name is mentioned in the same breath as Best, Cantona, and Beckham. He didn't just wear the shirt, he redefined it. Number 7. His obsession with perfection. Redefined athlete training. One thing that separates Cristiano Ronaldo from almost every other footballer in history is his insane commitment to perfection. He doesn't just train hard, he treats his body like a laboratory. For Ronaldo, fitness isn't a side note, it's the foundation of everything he does. From the earliest days at Manchester United, teammates noticed how extreme he was. While other players would head home after training, Ronaldo would stay behind to practice free kicks for hours. When they went out to parties, Ronaldo would head to the gym. And when they ate junk food, he stuck to grilled chicken, fish, vegetables, and water. Over time, his body became less like a footballer ETS and more like that of a track athlete or even an Olympic sprinter. Today, at nearly 40 years old, he still maintains body fat levels around 7%, which is comparable to elite athletes half his age. His sprint speed and vertical jump have been measured at levels equal to or better than NBA players. Scientists who've studied his physique often remark that his body looks closer to a 23-year-old than a man in his late 30s. But this obsession isn't just about vanity. It's rooted in Ronaldo's understanding of how fragile his career once was. Remember that heart condition at 15. From that moment on, he knew his body was his most valuable asset, and he spent every day making sure it's operating at maximum efficiency. His routine is legendary. He trains 5 days a week, often splitting sessions into cardio, strength, and tactical drills. His diet is equally strict, with 6 small meals spread throughout the day to keep his metabolism running. He avoids sugary drinks, processed foods, and anything that could slow him down. Even his sleep schedule is unique. Instead of one long 8-hour block, Ronaldo takes multiple 90-minute naps throughout the day, a method some scientists believe maximizes recovery. This level of discipline has inspired athletes across the world. In the U.S., sports commentators often compare him to Tom Brady, the NFL quarterback who played at an elite level into his mid-40s thanks to meticulous training and diet. Just like Brady, Ronaldo has shown that greatness isn't just about talent. It's about discipline, consistency, and treating your body like a temple. His obsession even extends to the smallest details. During the 2020 Euros, he famously removed 2 Coca-Cola bottles placed in front of him at a press conference, replacing them with water and telling viewers, "Agua." That single gesture wiped billions off Coca-Cola's market value in a matter of hours. It was a powerful statement about how seriously he takes his image and his message about health. But perhaps the most telling example of his dedication came when he returned to Manchester United in 2021. Younger players on the squad admitted they were shocked by his routine. One player recalled being invited to Ronaldo's house for dinner, expecting a grand feast. Instead, it was just a selection of salads, chicken, and water. No desserts, no alcohol, no indulgence. And after dinner, Ronaldo suggested a light training session in his personal gym. That's who he is, always chasing perfection. Critics sometimes call him obsessive, even vain. But the results speak for themselves. Decades into his career, while most footballers his age are long retired or slowing down, Ronaldo continues to break records, score goals, and compete at the highest level. His dedication has redefined what it means to be an athlete, not just in football but in sports in general. For young players, his example is a reminder that talent can get you noticed, but discipline is what keeps you at the top. And for fans, it's inspiring to see someone refuse to settle, to keep pushing the limits of what's possible for the human body. Cristiano Ronaldo, as obsession with perfection, isn't he just a personal quirk? It is one of the key reasons he has managed to stay relevant, dominant, and admired for nearly 2 decades. He doesn't just want to be good, he wants to be perfect. And in chasing that impossible standard, he set a new benchmark for athletes around the world. Jürgen 6, the most charitable footballer in the world. When you think of Cristiano Ronaldo, you probably picture luxury, Lamborghinis, private jets, mansions with ocean views, maybe even that famous Bugatti he drives around. And sure, he enjoys the perks of his success. But beneath all the glitz, there's a fact about Ronaldo that many people overlook. He is one of the most charitable athletes on earth. In fact, he's consistently ranked as the most generous footballer in the world. Ronaldo doesn't just give away a token check here or there. He has a long history of quietly funding hospitals, paying for surgeries, and donating millions to disaster relief funds. One of the most touching examples happened in 2009. When a 9-year-old boy in Spain needed life-saving brain surgery that his family couldn't afford. Ronaldo covered the entire cost. He didn't announce it publicly, didn't try to score PR points. The story only surfaced years later when the boy's family shared their gratitude. In 2011, after the tsunami and earthquake devastated parts of Japan, Ronaldo donated millions to help the victims rebuild their lives. When a child in Madeira, his home island, needed $83,000 for cancer treatment, Ronaldo wrote the check without hesitation. And he doesn't stop there. He regularly gives blood and bone marrow, refusing to tattoo his body because it could interfere with his ability to donate. That detail alone shows the depth of his commitment. For someone who makes a living with his body, he chooses generosity over image. But perhaps his most powerful contribution came during the COVID-19 pandemic. While some celebrities made token gestures, Ronaldo and his agent Jorge Mendes funded entire hospital wings in Portugal, paying for ventilators, beds, and critical medical supplies. Doctors later credited their donations with saving countless lives. Now, let's put this in perspective with an American analogy. Imagine if Tom Brady or LeBron James not only donated money but literally built and equipped hospital wings during a national crisis. That's the scale of Ronaldo's philanthropy. And here's the thing. He rarely publicizes it. Unlike some stars who make sure cameras are rolling every time they give back, Ronaldo often keeps it quiet. To him, it's not about image. It's about responsibility. He once said, "When you help other people, you receive much more in return." This generosity even extends to his relationship with fans. One famous story involves a young fan who skipped school to watch Ronaldo play and got caught on camera crying after he was stopped by security. Ronaldo intervened, brought the boy onto the field, and gave him his shirt. In another case, he noticed a fan holding a sign asking for help with tuition. Ronaldo invited the fan backstage and covered the costs. It's easy to look at Ronaldo and see only the fame and fortune. But stories like these remind us that at his core, he hasn't forgotten where he came from. He grew up in poverty, and that memory drives him to help others escape the struggles he once knew. So yes, Cristiano Ronaldo is a billionaire athlete, a brand, and a global icon. But he's also proof that even at the highest level of success, you can stay grounded, compassionate, and committed to lifting others up. 5. His rivalry with Lionel Messi defined an era. If you've followed football in the past 20 years, you know one truth. No conversation about Cristiano Ronaldo is complete without mentioning Lionel Messi. Their rivalry isn't just a sports debate. It's a cultural phenomenon, one of the greatest athletic rivalries in history, on par with Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird in the NBA or Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier in boxing. For over a decade, Ronaldo and Messi dominated world football like two titans locked in an endless duel. From 2008 to 2018, the Ballon d'Or, awarded to the world's best player, went to either Ronaldo or Messi every single year except once. That's 10 years where no one else could break their monopoly. Fans split into two camps: the Messi loyalists who praised his artistry, dribbling, and playmaking, and the Ronaldo faithful who admired his athleticism, power, and relentless drive. What made this rivalry so unique was how different they were. Messi was seen as the natural genius, a prodigy who made the game look effortless. Ronaldo, on the other hand, was the machine, the man who built himself into greatness through sweat, discipline, and obsession. Messi floated, Ronaldo conquered. Messi painted, Ronaldo sculpted. Together, they pushed each other to levels neither might have reached alone. Take Spain's El Clásico matches between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Every clash became a global event, with Ronaldo and Messi at the center. Millions tuned in not just to watch football, but to witness the next chapter in their rivalry. Would Messi dance through defenders with a mazy run? Would Ronaldo rise above the defense with a towering header? These games weren't just matches. They were episodes in a decade-long saga. In the U.S., think of the rivalry between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Every time their teams met, it wasn't just a game, it was an event. That's what Ronaldo versus Messi became for global football. But here's what people sometimes miss. Behind the rivalry was mutual respect. Both players have spoken highly of each other. Messi once said, "Cristiano is a phenomenal player who has had a great career," while Ronaldo admitted, "I really admire Messi. He pushes me to be a better player." Despite the endless debates among fans, the two understood that their rivalry was special, maybe even once in a lifetime. The numbers are mind-blowing. Ronaldo has over 850 career goals. Messi has over 800. Both have won league titles, Champions Leagues, and international trophies. Both have shattered records that once seemed unbreakable. And while debates about who is the greatest will rage on forever, what's undeniable is that their duel defined an entire era of football. In a way, their rivalry is bigger than the sport itself. Kids in America who had never watched a soccer game suddenly knew the names Ronaldo and Messi. Sports bars in New York and Los Angeles started filling up for El Clásico, something unthinkable in the 1990s. Their rivalry globalized football in a way nothing else could. And here's the ultimate truth. Whether you're Team Ronaldo or Team Messi, we were all lucky to witness them together. Rivalries like this don't come around often, and when they do, they elevate not just the players, but the entire sport. Cristiano Ronaldo's story isn't complete without Messi. They were opposites, competitors, and at times adversaries. But together, they created a golden age of football that will be remembered forever. The 4. The most marketable athlete in the world. Cristiano Ronaldo isn't just a footballer. He's a global brand. When Forbes and other financial outlets call him the most marketable athlete in the world, they're not exaggerating. His reach goes far beyond the football pitch, into fashion, fitness, social media, and even business. In fact, many analysts argue that Ronaldo has completely changed what it means to be an athlete in the 21st century. Let's start with the numbers. Ronaldo has more followers on Instagram than any other human on Earth, with hundreds of millions of people watching his every post. That single fact alone puts him in a league of his own. Companies know that one Instagram story from Ronaldo can reach more people than a primetime television ad in the U.S. That's why brands line up to work with him. Nike, Clear Shampoo, Herbalife, Tag Heuer, and many more. His lifetime contract with Nike is rumored to be worth over $1 billion, putting him in the same rarefied company as Michael Jordan and LeBron James. But Ronaldo doesn't just rely on sponsorships. He's built his own empire. His CR7 brand includes clothing lines, fragrances, gyms, and even hotels in partnership with the Pestana Hotel Group. Walk into one of his hotels in Madrid or Lisbon, and you'll see his influence everywhere, from the sleek, modern design to the memorabilia celebrating his career. These aren't vanity projects. They're thriving businesses that generate millions annually. Now, why does this matter? Because it shows how Ronaldo has redefined athlete branding. In the past, a player might have relied solely on club salaries and endorsements. Ronaldo saw a bigger picture. He understood that his name and image could be leveraged across industries, creating multiple streams of income. In American terms, it's similar to what Michael Jordan did with Air Jordans. Just as Jordan became bigger than basketball, Ronaldo has become bigger than football. And here's the key. It all comes back to trust and relatability. Fans don't just admire Ronaldo for his goals. They admire his discipline, his story of rising from poverty, his commitment to excellence. When he endorses a product, people believe in it because it's tied to his personal brand of success. His social media power is staggering. During the Euro 2020 tournament, his simple gesture of moving 2 Coca-Cola bottles and replacing them with water led to billions in market value being wiped from Coca-Cola's stock. One move, one message, and the financial world trembled. That's influence. But it's not just about business. Ronaldo uses his platform to inspire. He shares glimpses of his training, his family life, his philanthropic efforts. Fans feel like they're part of his journey, and that emotional connection fuels his brand even further. At the end of the day, Ronaldo isn't just the most marketable athlete. He's a case study in how sports, business, and media intersect in the modern age. His legacy won't just be goals and trophies. It will also be how he taught athletes worldwide to think bigger, act smarter, and build empires that last long after the final whistle. Number 3. His record-breaking international career. When it comes to international football, Cristiano Ronaldo has shattered almost every record imaginable. Playing for Portugal, a country with a population smaller than many U.S. states, he's turned a once-overlooked national team into global champions. Ronaldo is the all-time leading goalscorer in international men's football, surpassing Iran's Ali Day's record of 109 goals. Today, he has well over 120 goals for Portugal and counting. That means he has scored more goals for his country than most professional strikers manage in their entire careers. But it's not just about numbers, it's about moments. In 2016, Ronaldo led Portugal to their first-ever major international trophy at the European Championship. It was a fairy tale run, capped by a dramatic final against France. Ronaldo was injured early in the game and had to leave the pitch in tears. For most players, that would have been the end of the story. But Ronaldo turned into a coach on the sidelines, urging his teammates forward, shouting instructions, and motivating them every second. When Portugal finally won in extra time, Ronaldo lifted the trophy as captain, a moment etched into football history. 2 years later, he delivered another unforgettable performance at the 2018 World Cup. Facing Spain in the group stage, Ronaldo scored a hat trick, including a breathtaking free kick in the dying minutes to secure a 3-3 draw. That performance wasn't just about goals, it was about leadership, resilience, and the ability to rise when the world was watching. His international dominance continued in the UEFA Nations League, where he helped Portugal lift the inaugural trophy in 2019. By then, he had proven that his success wasn't limited to club football. He could carry his entire nation on his back. To understand the scale of his achievement, think about this. Portugal is a country of around 10 million people. That's roughly the population of Michigan or North Carolina. Yet, with Ronaldo leading them, they've beaten giants like France, Spain, and Germany on the biggest stages. It's like if a mid-sized U.S. state produced a player who carried his team to beat national powerhouses. What makes Ronaldo's international career even more remarkable is his longevity. He's been representing Portugal for nearly 2 decades, adapting his style as he's aged. Early on, he was a lightning-fast winger, terrorizing defenders with stepovers. Later, he became a clinical striker, using his positioning and heading ability to score. No matter the role, he kept delivering. Critics often point out that Portugal has had other talented players, and that's true. But no one can deny that Ronaldo is the heartbeat of the team. His presence alone lifts the squad. Younger players talk about how just training alongside him raises their standards. For Portugal, he's not just a captain. He's a national treasure. And here's the final point. Ronaldo's international legacy isn't finished. Even as he approaches 40, he continues to score, continues to show up in big games, and continues to push Portugal forward. In doing so, he's cemented himself not just as one of the greatest club players ever, but as arguably the greatest international player of all time. Ducker 2. The King of the Champions League. If there's one competition where Cristiano Ronaldo has left an indelible mark, it's the UEFA Champions League. This tournament is the crown jewel of European football, the place where legends are made, where the best of the best collide. And in this arena, Ronaldo has stood taller than anyone else. Ronaldo is the all-time leading scorer in Champions League history, with over 140 goals. That's more than entire clubs have managed in the same time frame. His closest rival, Lionel Messi, has slightly fewer, but no one comes close to matching Ronaldo's ability to dominate knockout stages and finals. What makes his record extraordinary isn't just the quantity of goals, but the timing. Ronaldo has a habit of scoring when it matters most. Consider his performances in 2017 against Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid. Against Bayern, he scored 5 goals across 2 legs, dismantling one of Europe's strongest defenses almost single-handedly. Against Atletico, he scored a hat-trick in the semi-final, dragging Real Madrid into yet another final. And then there are the finals themselves. Ronaldo has won the Champions League 5 times, once with Manchester United and 4 times with Real Madrid. In 2014, he scored in the famous La Decima final, where Real Madrid secured their long-awaited 10th European Cup. In 2017, he scored twice in the final against Juventus, cementing his reputation as the man for the biggest occasions. To put this in perspective for American fans, imagine an NBA player who consistently dropped 40 points in Game 7 of the finals year after year. That's what Ronaldo did in the Champions League, delivering when the stakes were highest. But it's not just the goals, it's the aura. When Ronaldo played in the Champions League, opponents feared him. Managers planned entire defensive systems just to stop him. And, more often than not, they failed. His iconic celebration, the leap and spin into Siu, became a symbol of inevitability. If Ronaldo was on the pitch, he was going to score. Even after leaving Real Madrid, his legacy in the competition remained unmatched. His hat-trick for Juventus against Atletico Madrid in 2019, overturning a 2-0 first-leg deficit, was one of the most remarkable comebacks in recent memory. At 34 years old, he was still carrying teams on his back in Europe's toughest competition. The Champions League is football's biggest stage and Ronaldo is its biggest star. That's why he's called Mr. Champions League. His dominance in this tournament is not just a fact. It is a defining chapter in his legend. Yikr 1. The relentless pursuit of greatness. When you boil it all down, the records, the goals, the trophies, the fame, what truly defines Cristiano Ronaldo is his relentless pursuit of greatness. More than talent, more than physical gifts, it's his mindset that sets him apart. From a boy on a small island, sharing a room with his siblings, to becoming a billionaire athlete, Ronaldo's journey is a testament to obsession, discipline, and willpower. He never settles. Winning 1 Ballon d'Or wasn't enough. He chased 5. Scoring 500 goals wasn't enough. He pushed past 800. Winning the Champions League once wasn't enough. He won it 5 times. His teammates often describe him as the hardest worker in any squad. Stories of him being the first to arrive at training and the last to leave are legendary. He's the guy who orders salad while everyone else has dessert, the one who studies his opponent's weaknesses late into the night, the one who treats every game, even against a small club, as if it were a World Cup final. And here's the thing. Greatness wasn't handed to him. He built it. Unlike some prodigies who relied solely on natural talent, Ronaldo forged himself into a machine through sheer effort. His story resonates because it's universal. You may never score a Champions League goal, but you understand what it means to work harder than anyone else, to chase a dream against the odds, to believe that discipline can beat talent when talent doesn't work hard. For American audiences, think of Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality. That obsession with improvement, that refusal to accept mediocrity. Ronaldo embodies the same spirit. He's football's version of the Mamba mentality, and it's why his career has inspired millions around the globe. Even as he nears 40, Ronaldo refuses to fade quietly. He continues to play, continues to score, continues to push limits. For him, football isn't just a job, it's a purpose, a mission to prove that with enough drive you can conquer anything. This pursuit of greatness is why kids from Los Angeles to Lagos, from New York to New Delhi, wear his jersey, copy his celebration, and dream of following in his footsteps. Ronaldo isn't just an athlete, he's an idea. The idea that relentless dedication can take you from nothing to everything. Cristiano Ronaldo's life is a tapestry of unbelievable facts, each one adding to the legend. Named after an American president, overcoming a heart condition, carrying the iconic number 7 at Manchester United, training with an obsession that redefined fitness, donating millions quietly while inspiring millions loudly, rivaling Messi in a duel that defined an era, building a brand bigger than football, breaking international records for a small nation, becoming the undisputed king of the Champions League, and above all, living every single day with an unshakable drive for greatness. These aren't just facts, they're lessons. They remind us that success isn't magic. It's built through resilience, sacrifice, and vision. Ronaldo's story resonates not because he's perfect, but because he shows what's possible when you refuse to quit. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends who love football. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss another countdown of the world's greatest stories. And let us know in the comments, which fact about Cristiano Ronaldo surprised you the most? Because here's the truth, Cristiano Ronaldo isn't just a footballer. He's proof that greatness is a choice, and he chose it every single day.